Arman Tsarukyan is the official backup for UFC 317 Oliveira against Topuria. Why this comes very surprising and what that means for the future in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Salam alaikum. Walaikum salam.
Arman Tsarukyan, when he declined or kind of cancelled the fight against Islam Makhachev close to 24 hours before the fight because of a back injury, the UFC turned their back against him, right? They were very pissed about that whole thing, and they said that he will have to fight his way back to the title, which is, in my opinion, nonsense, because he literally beat the guy who is now fighting for the title, Charles Oliveira, in his last fight, and he's, in my eyes, since the Islam fight, still unbeaten in the UFC. The Gamrot fight, but you know my stance on that, I think he won that fight. But anyways, he clearly is the #1 contender in that division, right? But the UFC, when they do not like something you do, they will punish you for that. So I was pretty certain that he will have one more fight before he fights for the title, which could have been Gaethje, but Gaethje had his whole period thing, right? So he doesn't want to fight anyone unless for the title, which means he's basically retired. So I always thought, okay, an Arman fight will be announced soon. And then Dana, I heard rumors before, but Dana confirmed it in the post-fight press conference after UFC Baku, Azerbaijan, that Arman Tsarukyan is officially the backup for the title fight, Charles Oliveira against Ilia Topuria, right? Which is interesting, because if you watch Arman's Instagram, he does not look at all like he's in fight camp. He is as shredded as it gets, of course, as he always is, but I feel like his Instagram is just him chilling, eating. I eat, I sleep, I train. He's just chilling the whole time in somewhere in California. I don't know where it is. He seems to just live his best life, and it does not look like, at least from the social media posts, like he's anywhere in training camp or anywhere close to in training camp, right? He also never really talked about that he's in training camp. So that came very surprising to me, and I'm not sure if Arman is really taking that serious, because there are fighters who do not take that whole backup situation quite serious, because mostly in 95% of the times, or probably more, the backup is not needed. I can't remember an instance where the backup fighter actually had to step in. So the problem is, you are probably not as motivated to train because you do not have a real goal in front of you. You're preparing for two guys where the chances that you're actually going to fight them now are pretty small. So yeah, it feels like that is happening to Arman, that is not really that motivated for that fight, but I don't know, it's just what we see on social media, right? But the other interesting thing about that is that puts Arman right back in there. I'm back! Because if Arman is the official backup for the fight, I can guarantee you that he's next in line. They will not put Arman as a backup for the fight and then let Gaethje fight the winner of Topuria versus Charles. Because, of course, Islam, if he then defeats Jack, which is a whole other question, wants allegedly come back down to lightweight and fight for the lightweight title again. But that is far in the future. That is in 2026, because Islam, in my opinion, or my prediction, is the earliest date that he will fight is October against JDM. So if he fights JDM in October, his next fight will be in 2026. And now it's June or July when the fight is happening. No, it's still June when the fight is happening, Topuria against Charles. So the winner of that will most certainly want, and the UFC will want that as well, that they defend their title once again this year. Which brings Arman right in there, especially if Topuria goes in there, and my prediction, go watch my prediction video. If Topuria goes in there and finishes Charles, or Charles goes in there and finishes Topuria quite early and doesn't take too much damage or doesn't get injured, don't be surprised if they're back in there in fall, late fall, early winter, something like that, and they defend their title then. And most certainly, it will be Arman Tsarukyan, because first of all, it's the #1 contender. Second of all, if you're the backup of a title fight, you are next in line unless something crazy is going on. And I don't see anyone that has a claim stronger than Arman Tsarukyan right now. The only possibility that I see, and the only thing that I see, if Max Holloway goes out there and starches Poirier, absolutely mauls him, that he then gets his revenge fight against Ilia Topuria for the lightweight belt. Because Holloway then, in his last two fights at lightweight, if we imagine that he finished Poirier, right, in that situation. He then knocked out Justin Gaethje and then knocked out Dustin Poirier back-to-back at lightweight, which makes it quite easy to argue for a title shot for him, especially with the history with Topuria. Of course, on one hand, you could say, hey, he got finished quite handsomely, I would say, in that fight. So he doesn't deserve a rematch. On the other hand, you could say, hey,
you don't want to, I don't have to bring this
sunglasses.
He just finished Dustin Poirier, who beat him 2 times before that. He's good at rematches, blah, 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 this and that. Give him the revenge in a different weight class, 155. He's the taller guy. He might have some kind of advantages there. Give him the rematch. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I see kind of getting between Arman getting the next title shot. Because Justin Gaethje, I'm sorry, I made a whole video about that, go watch it. He does not at all deserve a title shot right now. You do not deserve a title shot of getting knocked out before that and then beating number 11 ranked Rafael Viziev, coming in on short notice after a 1-year layoff because of a knee injury and beating him by a very close decision, right? You're just not next in line, bro. So Arman Tsarukyan as the official backup, very surprising. I hope he doesn't have to step in. Also for him, I don't hope that, because I'm not sure if he's really prepared for this fight. But I'm glad for him that he's most definitely next in line for the UFC Lightweight belt after UFC 317. What is your opinion about the whole thing? Write in the comments who's next. Write in the comments, like this video, guys. Subscribe to this channel, would appreciate that. Become a member, all that good stuff. Check out all the links. My Twitch channel for the watch-alongs, the live streams. Check it out, you guys. Stay bloody, and until the next one. Bye-bye. Bloodsport out.